So we're rolling?
Yes, you're rolling.
Alright.
Start whenever you feel.
Some notes that I have here. You had mentioned a redemption story.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
It begins with an event that occurred while I was a doctoral student in theology at Harvard University. At the same time as a doctoral student, I was a weekend pastor of a Baptist church in Chelsea, Massachusetts. I'm in my apartment, just a block or two away from Harvard Yard. I'm in my apartment, and I'm studying and reading Michel Foucault to prepare an essay that I had to present in a doctoral colloquium. And I'm in a state, a mental, emotional, psychological state of rapture. And then all of a sudden, I get a phone call. And it's from a member of my congregation. And they're telling me that someone who occasionally comes to our church, that their father died and that their mother was inconsolable. And they wanted me to come and see if I could console the mother. I was very angry because they brought me down from the heavenlies to my earthly shell. I have to deal with real life. And when I got to her house, they led me to her room. It was very dark. I could see her face, it wasn't very clear, but I could tell she was crying. She was making noises. She was moaning and crying and making eerie sounds. And I was standing there angry at her, that because of her, I had to leave my reading of Foucault. So I looked at her, and it was almost like a mystical experience, but it was dark and it was negative, and it was like pulling me down, and I couldn't think of a thing to say to her. So I said, God bless you, and I turned around and left. When I got back in my car, I said, what am I doing? I have no spiritual gifts. I've been deluding myself. Not long after that event, I had graduated from Harvard, and I went to California, where I was offered a teaching position in philosophy and religious studies. I was there about a year, maybe 10 months, when I read about a Martin Scorsese movie that just come out.
This is betraying the biblical Jesus, the historical Christ of the scriptures.
People riled up about this movie. There are riots, there are protests, there are bomb threats.
They're misleading.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Well, how come you people are criticizing it if you don't see it?
Do you have to take arsenic to know that it's poison?
And I felt that, yeah, I got to be part of this scene. So I went. The movie is a portrayal of Jesus as being beset by a deep pathological struggle between his calling to serve God, climb up the cross, and bring redemption to humankind. On the other hand, he thought about becoming a regular man. He had a relationship of some sorts with Mary, sometimes referred to as Mary Magdalene. And one night he has a dream, and in this dream, he's married with Mary Magdalene. They're in the house doing household things, and then there's a 10-second dream sequence that shows Jesus making love to Mary Magdalene. And that's what got all people all riled up. But for me, it was revelatory. For me, it was redemptive. I felt a transformation like a new birth, because I suddenly realized, I suddenly saw the meaning of redemption for me, the meaning of Jesus on the cross. So traditional theology says that it was God who became a human being in Jesus Christ. Then I inverted that relationship, and I realized that the human being in Jesus became divine. our desires, our lusts, our failures, our shortcomings, our unworthiness, our worthiness, our successes, our wishes and dreams. They were all sacred because the human being is sacred. And then at that moment, I realized, you know what? I'm sacred. I'm spiritual through my physicality. The human form is the expression of divinity. And I realized if I want to pastor again, I could. If I want to preach again, that I could. And so that was the redemption. Hope it wasn't too long.